expression of numbers. This was our people saying this. Their clock was the stars, and the solstices and the equinoxes were their way of telling time. The astrological signs that we know of, Pisces and Aquarius, and so these houses, these were the months. The Egyptians were the first to devise the calendar of 30 days, of 3 weeks of 10 days in each month. And they knew that their year was not a perfect year. They knew that there was a leap year, but instead of waiting 4 years like we do, and then observing, or 2 years, whatever it is, they waited something like 1,400 some years, and then they would have this grand jubilee where they would have indeed a leap year to correct the calendar. And they observed on the mornings of the solstice and the equinox what sign the sun, what astronomical sign the sun would rise in. And that's how they would get this idea of the age of Aquarius and so forth and so on. Scientists call it the precession of the equinoxes. They know that they slip back to all the houses, and it takes about 64,000 years to do this. The Egyptians told Herodotus and the Greeks that they had seen this happen more than 2 times. So you can quickly calculate how many hundreds of thousands of years they have been doing this. With a calendar, they were able to manage time for the first time in human history. They knew when to plant and when to harvest. They knew how to calculate how much food they would need between the dry season and the rainy season. The Egyptians were the first ones to create a harvest. And with a harvest, it meant that there was now food, so much food, that everyone did not have to be a farmer. They could now specialize in other things. They could have a priesthood. They could deal with sacred science. They could have engineers. They could have science. They could have lawyers, and so forth and so on, division of labor. This was only possible because of their understanding of the solstice and the equinoxes as far as telling time. And so, as we are doing this, we're recapitulating what our ancestors have been doing for many, many millennia.
Thank you.
Bring it on, sister.
I want to ask that you include in your prayers those energies that are dying in the Gulf of Mexico. That you include in your prayers the vision of seeing the Gulf of Mexico clean and clear. That you envision seeing the earth restoring her balance without too much disaster happening. Because we've already been seeing the effects of the lack of harmony of technology with nature. And as the earth is bleeding in the Gulf of Mexico, literally bleeding, you got to know that's an artery. Yeah. And you got to know that when an artery collapses, then other parts of the body start collapsing. So 2012 isn't too far away. Just pay attention to the domino effect. But we collectively have the power to envision, to channel our energies, to circumvent some of that energy to an extent. Too many things have already been put into play to stop it all together. But we do have the ability to ease some. But that again goes back to you taking the time to be still so that you can know what to do, where to be, and how to do it. When the cell phone ain't working, when the television ain't working, and you there with yourself. Ashe.
Ashe.